But y'all go to Moneybagg Yo's side of town while having a diss song out about Moneybagg Yo.
Yeah.
But whole time, allegedly, right, y'all were set up to come during this time.
Right.
And y'all know how dangerous it was, and y'all still decided.
Finesse2Tymes just crossed a major line, and now the whole city of Memphis is buzzing heavy about it. This move did not go unnoticed, and people in the streets are already whispering about how tense things are getting right now. This ongoing clash with Moneybagg Yo is shaping up to be way deeper than just music talk or industry smoke. These two used to be locked in tight, coming up together when nobody else was around. But now, Finesse is throwing shots at Moneybagg's girl, Ari, through his lyrics. And anyone who understands Memphis street politics knows that kind of disrespect can flip everything upside down fast. What really caused this fallout is way more layered than folks think, and we're about to break it all down. From bread gang contracts to questions of loyalty, from Young Dolph related tension to personal family rifts. This situation feels like a ticking time bomb, and every detail matters before things spiral even further. Let me keep it a full 100 right now, because the internet has been loud about Finesse and Moneybagg Yo trading shots, but most people have zero clue about the real history behind this fallout. Everybody sees the back and forth, but nobody talks about the grind, the long studio nights, or how deep this bond really ran before everything cracked apart. Now let's clear the smoke and split facts from fiction, real from fake. Straight up, around 2012 to 2013 is where things really kicked off for Finesse. Back then, Finesse2Tymes, Moneybagg Yo, Black Youngster, and a few other Memphis names were moving as a unit called MGU, Memphis Grinders Underrated. These were not just rap partners chasing clout. These were young street brothers pushing one dream, club hopping, promoting records, and doing whatever it took to get noticed. This was way before the fame, before the money, and before all this tension hit the surface. They were burning CDs, walking them into Walmart by hand, really grinding from the dirt up. But here's where things start feeling shaky. Even back then, Finesse admitted Moneybagg was always the slick one in the crew. And that detail matters more than people realize. When they were out hitting clubs to push music or handle street-related situations, Moneybagg was usually the one trying to dip early and stay clear of the chaos. He didn't want to be tied to anything too reckless. And to be fair, that alone isn't a flaw at all. Everybody isn't wired for the same path, and that's just real life. But in Memphis street culture, those differences in mindset don't just get ignored. They stack up, and sooner or later they turn into real friction. Fast forward a bit, and everything shifts. Finesse ends up locked up, and while he's sitting down, Moneybagg Yo and Black Youngster both take off. Youngster gets signed, Bag gets signed, and the whole city is watching their rise in real time. Meanwhile, Finesse is behind bars, seeing his old circle level up without him, and that kind of situation messes with anybody's head. Now here's a key detail people like to skip. When Finesse came home, he already had motion. G-Train was touching over 100,000 views, and other tracks were climbing on SoundCloud too. He wasn't cold or forgotten. Still, Moneybagg reached out and brought him into Bread Gang, his label imprint under Yo Gotti, and that decision would later carry way more weight than anyone expected. CMG looks solid on the surface, like pure love, one homie reaching back to help another homie level up. But the real story was way more tangled than that. Finesse later spoke on this and kept it straight, saying he linked with Bread Gang to make the city look united and strong. Loyalty runs deep with him, and he believed this move was the right call at the time. What he didn't see coming was that he was stepping into a situation that would slowly box him in, according to multiple sources, including his own brother, No Love, who spoke on it directly. Behind the scenes, Moneybagg was leaning heavy on Finesse's talent. In the studio, whenever Bag hit a creative wall or couldn't lock in a verse, he called Finesse over like, get 2 times on it, real quick energy. Finesse gave everything he had, thinking this was brotherhood, thinking the support was mutual and real. Looking back now, he admits it felt less like family and more like being valued only for what he could bring to the table. But this story goes way deeper than label politics or studio sessions. The real crack in their bond came from the Young Dolph situation, and this is raw Memphis street tension that outsiders rarely understand. At the time, Moneybagg Yo and Young Dolph already had their own serious issues brewing, and that conflict would end up changing everything in ways nobody expected. This part was already out there, and it was well documented. Moneybagg Yo and Young Dolph had tension, real issues, and they were standing on opposite sides of Memphis street politics at the time. But here's where it gets tricky. Finesse was actually cool with Dolph. Even while rocking with Bread Gang, his relationship with Dolph went back way before all the industry noise, according to his brother No Love, who was front row for all of this. Things escalated when Dolph made comments about MGU and the whole crew, calling them suckers or something close to that. When word got back to Finesse, he jumped on live and said he'd smack Dolph, defending Moneybagg and the crew publicly. That was Finesse showing loyalty, standing tall for his people, even though he personally had no real issue with Dolph. But here's the twist nobody expected. Moneybagg didn't take it as loyalty at all. Instead of appreciating the defense, Bag got mad that Finesse even addressed it. The reason matters. Around that same time, Moneybagg had just locked in a feature with Dolph on I Need a Plug, and that record helped push his career into another gear. From that moment on, it was non-stop motion, bigger hits, bigger moves, and a whole new level of success after that Dolph feature. So from Finesse's point of view, he felt like he was really stepping out there for his brother, going to bat publicly, even risking real danger with Dolph's camp, all while Moneybagg was quietly making business plays with the same person behind closed doors. That disconnect hit hard, and that's when Finesse started feeling like something wasn't lining up at all. They eventually sat down to address it face to face. According to No Love, he was right there when they met with some respected OGs from North Memphis to talk everything through. Finesse stood firm and made his position clear, basically saying, "Wow, I said what I said because he said what he said," and he wasn't backing off that stance. But Moneybagg took it differently, saying Finesse was tripping and putting business in jeopardy, and that tension filled the room fast. That moment changed everything for Finesse. That's when it really clicked for him that money and business were coming before brotherhood. And once that realization set in, things only got messier from there. Now let's get into the Bread Gang contract situation, because this is where the story turns heavy. Finesse has spoken on this more than once, and you can hear the frustration every time he brings it up. According to him, he felt locked into a deal that wasn't working in his favor, and that feeling stayed with him long after the ink dried. Finesse has said straight up that Moneybagg wasn't really backing his music the way a label head is supposed to. When you sign to someone's imprint, you expect real push, real promotion, and real investment to help you grow. But instead, Finesse felt like his momentum was being slowed down, not boosted, and that frustration kept building over time. Then came the moment that really stung. In an interview, Finesse revealed he got word one day that the contract was basically crumpled up and done. No sit down, no real business talk, no respect-filled conversation, just over like that. After giving loyalty, talent, and serious time to Bread Gang, that move felt like a straight slap to the face. He even admitted he wished they could have stayed in business because the city loves seeing them together. And a joint project would have meant way more to Memphis than most people understand. But here's the part that hit Finesse the hardest. He feels like Moneybagg is still stuck on their past and can't see him for who he's become. Finesse owned up to his mistakes, admitting his flaws cost him relationships with solid people, and he named Moneybagg as one of them. He said he was still growing, still learning the industry, and that his street mindset sometimes clashed with business moves. And that realization came with real pain behind it. The real tea that shook everybody came when Finesse said Moneybagg is traumatized and doesn't want to deal with him anymore because he's scared. Emphasis words. Bag thinks he might snap or move wild again, even though Finesse swears he would never come at Bag like that specifically. Still, once trust is cracked, it's hard to glue it back together, and that damage was already done. After the contract situation fell apart, things didn't stay quiet at all. They went full public and real messy fast. It kicked off when Moneybagg unfollowed Finesse on Instagram. To regular people, that might seem small, but when you got hundreds of thousands watching your every move, that unfollow is loud. In today's social media world, that's a clear statement, and Finesse saw it as straight disrespect. Finesse didn't sit back and let it slide either. He jumped on live and addressed it head on, calling Bag out for being in his feelings and sneak posting about him. He made it clear he's been in the streets his whole life. He's not ducking smoke, not hiding behind anyone. And if there's tension, he's standing on it solo and ready for whatever comes next. In one of his early rants about the fallout, Finesse let a lot of personal stuff spill out, and it caught people off guard. He spoke on studio sessions where, if Bag couldn't lock in lyrics, he called on Finesse to save the moment. Finesse made it sound like he was the one really putting in the heavy work. while Bagg stayed on the safer side of things. He even went as far as questioning Bagg's street credibility. And in Memphis, that's one of the most disrespectful lines you can cross when someone's whole image is built on that foundation. But at the same time, Finesse shows signs of growth too. Mid-rant, he'd catch himself getting too fired up and slow it down, saying he was trying to move for the culture and show love to the city. He admitted that because his name is Finesse, people automatically assume he's on something slick or shady. Still, he claimed his real goal was to build something solid and genuine, not tear anything down. The back and forth kept rolling on social media with subliminal posts and indirect shots flying both ways. But it mostly stayed in rap beef territory. Competitive, tense, but not outright dangerous. That is, until recently, when the situation took another sharp turn. This is where the elephant in the room comes in. Finesse2Tymes previewed a new song where he takes direct shots at Moneybagg Yo's girlfriend, Ari, and that move instantly shifted the entire tone of this beef. If you know anything about Memphis street politics, then you already know that's a line you do not cross, period. In that culture, going at another man's woman isn't just disrespect. It's a straight declaration of war. It's basically saying you don't respect him as a man. You don't respect his household, and you're ready to take things to a place there's no coming back from. At this point, this isn't rap anymore, and that's what's got people uneasy. The streets have been talking heavy, and the general feeling is that Finesse pushed it too far this time. You can take shots at someone's music, their money, even their street image, and that's still considered fair game. But once you bring a man's woman into it, that's when things get physical. And situations stop being about the internet and start turning into real-life consequences. And let's be honest about this too. Ari is a public figure in her own right, with her own platform and following. Dragging her into this puts her in a situation she never asked for and applies pressure on Moneybagg to respond in a serious way, just to save face with people who understand the culture. And for those who've been around Memphis long enough, this kind of move feels way too similar to how some of the city's most tragic beefs first got started. It always starts the same way, with music. Then it slides into personal disrespect, and too often it ends with people getting hurt, and Memphis has seen this pattern before. From past city tensions to situations tied to Young Dolph, the blueprint never really changes. And that's why folks are paying close attention right now. Finesse has been open about his growth through all of this, and that part matters. He's admitted he was wrong in certain moments and said his street mindset sometimes blocked real business opportunities. He even acknowledged that Moneybagg was trying to school him, trying to show him how to move smarter and play the long game, but at that time, he just wasn't ready to hear it. That level of self-awareness didn't come easy. At the same time, Finesse still feels deeply betrayed. In his mind, he gave loyalty and heart to someone who ended up seeing him more as a resource than a brother. He feels like he stood up publicly, putting himself in risky situations, while Moneybagg handled business quietly, behind the scenes. Now that it's all over, Finesse feels like he lost valuable time that could have gone into building his own lane and empire. And to be fair, when you look at it closely, you can also see how Moneybagg might view things from his side too. From Moneybagg's side, the picture looks different, and you can't ignore that. He's built a real empire, locked in major deals, and positioned himself as one of the biggest names in the game right now. With that level of success, he can't afford to have anyone around him who might move unpredictable or pull street drama into business spaces. There's just too much on the line. But by cutting Finesse off the way he did, not backing his music, and unfollowing him publicly, Bagg didn't just end a partnership, he created tension with someone who still wanted brotherhood. And now that tension feels dangerous, because that former ally is clearly willing to cross lines that most people know you don't touch. Let that sit for a second. This isn't just rap beef anymore. This is two men with real street ties, real pride, and real history in Memphis. This is a city where problems don't stay online, and one wrong song aimed at the wrong person can shift everything fast. The culture has seen this movie before, and it never ends clean. Too many talented artists have been lost to situations that started with music and spiraled out of control. The scary part is both Finesse and Moneybagg have people around them who are ready to stand behind them if things turn serious. In Memphis, reputation is everything, and once it's challenged, the pressure only gets heavier. What really makes this situation feel extra dangerous is that Finesse looks like he's got nothing left to lose right now. He's already done time, already lost the bread gang deal, already been counted out by a lot of people. That kind of position makes someone unpredictable, and in street terms, that can be more risky than someone focused on protecting an empire. Meanwhile, Moneybagg has everything on the line: his career, his money, his family, and the legacy he's built brick by brick. But that pressure cuts both ways. Having everything to lose can also make someone feel like they have to respond big just to protect their name and what they've built. That's why this feels like a lose-lose situation that could spin out fast if nobody slows it down. This isn't just two rappers trading bars anymore. This is about loyalty crashing into business, street code clashing with industry politics, and brothers turning into enemies over pride and principle. At the core, this is about a culture where disrespect can snowball into real-life tragedy if it goes unchecked. The real question now is simple but heavy. Will someone step in and cool this down before it turns deadly? Or will Memphis once again watch talent get lost over beef that never had to go this far? Before we wrap this up, this is where you come in, and don't skip this part. If you rock with real stories, real breakdowns, and the truth behind what's really happening in the streets, make sure you subscribe to Rap Uncovered right now and turn those notifications all the way on. The streets never sleep, and trust us, we're just getting started. There are way more stories coming, way more layers to peel back, and we drop heat every single day without fail. Tomorrow's upload is even crazier, even deeper, and absolutely unmissable, so you don't want to miss that. Smash that like button to show love, share this video with all your homeboys, and let everybody know where the real breakdown's live. Most importantly, drop your thoughts in the comments. When will we, as a culture, stop glorifying conflict and start celebrating growth, forgiveness, and moving forward? What do you really think about the Finesse and Moneybagg situation? Did Finesse cross the line by dissing Ari? Could all of this have been avoided? Stay locked in, stay safe out there, and we'll catch you in the next one, right here at Rap Uncovered, where the truth of the streets lives.